Hello everyone. So I wanted to do a video explaining this massive haul that you see. Like it extends even further that way. Um so there's a couple of things going on, and I don't really talk about it on the internet at all. And well, I don't want to say at all. I may have mentioned it once or twice, but I don't really talk about it in general. And I've never really admitted part of it until this past month. So the first part is that I am bipolar, which does impede on impulsivity, and a lot of times that's characterized by impulse purchases. And I thought at the beginning of September, when this started, I thought it was just that, that I was on a high mood and that I was spending like crazy. Everything that you see here isn't even everything that I bought. I returned a lot of stuff too. So this is just what I've kept. So the second part, and the part that I did not admit to until October, the beginning of October, today is the 25th, is that I have an addiction to shopping. There's a lot of videos going around right now. I don't want to get lumped into those videos where overconsumption is a thing and where you overbuy, and that is valid, but I don't think those people have and they may, I don't know, they may not have admitted it to themselves yet, but I don't think that they have a true shopping addiction. I went into the month of September into the month of October with a no buy. I was not going to buy anything at all, and that restriction on me just kind of made all of this happen. Again, this is from September and October, but mostly October. Prime Days on Amazon did not help. So I admitted to myself, I actually was sitting outside talking to my husband. We were talking about something else, and the words shopping addiction came out of my mouth, and it just flowed out, and I was like, yeah, it's out there. I've said it. I've been thinking it for quite a while, because I got very obsessive over my pan pastels, which I have the complete set of, which is another thing. I have full set syndrome. A lot of crafters and artists and probably people in general have full set syndrome, but I have full set syndrome, so that's besides the point. The spending got to a point where it was really bad, as you can see by all the stuff behind me. And I don't want to go into how bad it was, but it was very bad, and we are still battling that. All of this is super recent, and very raw. Tuesday of this past week, so Monday, my husband and I had been talking, and he kind of told me financially where we sat, because he keeps better track of the bank account than I do. And that's when the words shopping addiction came out. Again, I do want to differentiate that from overconsumption. They may be linked. To me, I don't know, I'm sitting in a room full of stuff. I don't feel like I'm at the point of a hoarder, but I don't feel like I'm far off from it. So maybe overconsumption and shopping addiction does go hand in hand. So Monday we had that talk, and then Tuesday I was really thinking about it all day long, and a person that I don't want to give away any names, went through a program for their addiction. I'm not sure what their addiction was, but they went through a program for their addiction, and the program is nationwide. It's done through churches, it is very biblically based and Christ based, and it is kind of deals with a whole bunch of different addictions, and one of them is what they call overspending. Shopping addiction, overspending addiction. I'll get in a program where I can, basically. So I asked my husband, because he's closer to this person than I am, what the name of the program was. And I started looking for programs in my area that also just dealt with shopping anonymous, basically, like Alcoholics Anonymous, but I couldn't find much of anything. He remembered the name of the program, and he told me what it was, and he actually sent me a link directly to the overspending portion of that program. So I opened up the website. Again, this was Tuesday. I don't remember the date right now. I think today's the 25th. I don't know what Tuesday was. But I opened up the thing, and they had a meeting that night at a church that's like, I think it was 15 minutes from me, because I don't do highways, so I had to stop at all the lights and that sort of thing. So it was 15 minutes away from me, and which in San Antonio is nothing, like, time-wise, to get somewhere. Yeah. So and it was at 6:30, and so I told him, I was like, I'm gonna go to this program. So I went to the program to check it out. They didn't have any new classes starting, so they kind of stuck me in a class that had already started, that was on step 8 of the program, and it happened to be about forgiveness, and it brought up a whole bunch of other stuff. But I've been to group therapy for other reasons, and hang on. Okay, and so I've been through group therapy, and I was expecting something like that, where they opened up and talked specifically about that person's quote unquote problem, addiction, whatever you want to call it, because I went to one that was both for mental health and addiction. So it was a mixture of the two. I was expecting that kind of vibe. It was not that vibe at all. It was, this is the topic we're talking about. Let's talk. And I talked to my therapist, and I'm just going way out there with all of this information. I'm just laying it all out. I talked to my therapist, and she said that was how she's seen AA meetings run, where they give you a topic and they kind of just starts a conversation and lets the conversation go where it needs to go. So it threw me off a little bit. Driving there threw me off. Driving back definitely threw me off. I don't drive to new places. I don't drive at night. I don't drive on the highways. I'm very rarely drive past my kids' school. I tend to stay within a certain distance of the house, and that's a whole nother topic. So I was already thrown off by all of this. There was so many people, because they had several different classes that broke, so they did like a worship time at the beginning, where in this auditorium, or my mind's drawing a blank, we're gonna use the word auditorium, or the sanctuary, where the congregation gathers. So we did worship time, and then after that we broke off into our separate rooms, and then there was still a lot of people in the mini rooms, and we heard a testimonial this particular night, and then we broke off into men and women, and the women's group still had a lot of people in it, but I kind of shut everybody out and focused solely on the facilitator, what the topic was, going through that. I did have a couple of questions about the topic, which I'm not going to get into, but we did all of that, and then I haven't bought anything online since Monday. So all day Tuesday, this was going through my head, and I knew that I needed to get myself into a program. And so I didn't buy anything online on Tuesday. And then after the thing, nobody told me rules of to stay in this program you have to follow these rules, or try your hardest not to spend or anything like that. I just kind of went for myself, made rules for myself, and one of them was definitely not spending money online, not spending money in the stores. But I don't go into the stores because I don't drive, but definitely not spending money online. So I found the Sennelier pastel pencils, woodless pastel pencils that they came out with. Blick has they have the full-size sticks and the half-size sticks, but they don't have them in stock right now. So I told my mom, I was like, hey, I really want these for Christmas. Can you buy them now? Because the expected date is 12/12 for being back in stock. Can you buy them now and then give them to me at Christmas, and that'll be my Christmas present? And she's like, well, because I also owe my mom money on top of it. And she said, take that money that I was going to give her for this 2 weeks and buy it. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I cash apped her the money once it hit my bank account. And she asked me what it was for and why I didn't just buy the things online, and told her I'm not shopping online. So I hadn't told her that I was in a program or that I had admitted it to myself or anything like that yet. And this part of the story is kind of irrelevant. It doesn't really matter, but since I'm putting it all out there, I told a few days later, I told her, man, it's really hard not shopping online. And she said, I know. And I was in the middle of cooking dinner. The boys were being boys. I just kind of snapped, and I don't even remember if my husband was home yet or not. But I said, no, you don't understand. And she kind of made a comment like, yes, I do. And I was like, do you have an addiction? And she said, no. And I was like, then you don't understand. And she was like, okay. But the first part is admitting it, and you've done that. So now you can get help. So she's kind of understanding where I'm coming from. And people say they have shopping addictions, and I'm not here to judge anyone. Some people, I think, really do have shopping addictions, and some people I don't want to say that they're lying about it, but I just feel like they are not entirely informed about what a true shopping addiction looks like and is, and all the fun stuff. So this haul is part of that realization, and I could have very well, at least with Amazon, because Amazon makes it super easy to return stuff, I could have very well returned everything that I got from Amazon. But to stand in line and do each item as a return, or bundle as many as I could together. I just felt like I was gonna be too embarrassed for that, and not that this isn't embarrassing, this is kind of sickening, very sickening, because I'm now in a program for it and I've admitted my problem. So yeah, it's gonna be a very long road ahead of trying to not buy stuff and of getting us out of the hole that I personally dug us into. So yeah, I could say more, and this is not an excuse. This is just me being raw and yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna put this video out there, then I'm gonna put out a part 1 and a part 2 of the actual haul for all of this stuff. The first video I think is around an hour long, and the second video is going to be around 30 minutes long. But yeah, so I have to give myself grace. I have to forgive myself, and I'm not there. I've done the admitting part, but that's about it. So yeah, I am going to go hang out with my son and see what he's doing. Have some editing to do for these videos and get this loaded. And I have no idea how long that's going to take because my internet connection kind of sucks. So, okay. Thank you everyone for watching. I ask that you be kind, and yeah. So, alright. Bye.